Hello guys, we are back with our new video in which we are going to cover the naming of molecular or covalent compound. While in the first part of naming of compound, we had covered the naming of ionic compound. So today we are going to learn how and when we are supposed to use the prefix mono, di, tri, tetra. So without wasting any time, let's get started. Okay, let's start with the definition of binary covalent compounds. So what are binary covalent compounds? As we know that the compounds which get formed by two elements by sharing of their electrons, that is known as binary covalent compound. So binary represents specifically two elements, and covalent compound that should have covalent bond. And we know that covalent bond get formed by sharing of electrons between non-metals. So let's see some examples of this. When we are going to see the examples of this, we are having a lot of example like carbon dioxide, water. We are having the example of carbon monoxide. We are having sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide, and so on up to. But now when I am speaking their name, I am saying carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide. So why I am using these prefix here? What's the purpose of these prefix here? So the purpose of these prefix is to specify the number of atoms of particular element of particular element in the molecule or compound. So now when we are specifying the number of atoms of particular element in a molecule or a compound, and that time we are supposed to use the prefix. Now let's see how it works. So here we are having some prefix written on right hand side like mono, di, tri, tetra, penta with respect to their number of atoms if they are having in their molecules. Now let's see with respect to one. The very first I am having here nitrogen with one oxygen. So its name is going to be nitrogen monoxide. Now why I have written here monoxide? Because in this case you may see I am having only one oxygen. So for one I am going to use mono prefix. Now let's go to next. So in next what we are having? We are having in total two nitrogen. For two nitrogen we are supposed to use the prefix di. So it's going to be dinitrogen. Now how many oxygen? Only one. So for one I'm going to use mono. So it's going to be dinitrogen monoxide. So might be you got it that why I have used di and mono here with respect to their number of atoms in the molecule. Now let's check to the next. So for next what we are having? We are having again two nitrogen. So it should be dinitrogen once again. Okay, along with that I am having 5 oxygen. So for 5 I am going to use prefix penta. So it's going to be pentaoxide. So it's pretty easy to find out why I have written di and penta. Because of their number of atoms I have used these specific prefix. Now let's jump into next. So here I am having sulfur with 2 oxygen. So it should be sulfur dioxide. Again, why I have written di? Because of 2. So you may see it is 2. So for 2 I am going to use the prefix di. Okay, now let's go to next. Here I am having sulfur with 3 oxygen. So it's going to be sulfur trioxide. Why it is sulfur trioxide? Why I have used tri here? Because for 3 number of atoms we are supposed to use the prefix tri. So that's why I have written sulfur trioxide. Now let's come to next. Here I am having 2 phosphorus. So if it is 2, then I am supposed to write di. So it's going to be diphosphorus. Then let's check about the oxygen. I am having 3. So if it is 3, so it should be tri. So I am going to use trioxide. So why I have used the prefix tri? Because I am having 3 oxygen here. Now let's go to next. So in this I am having phosphorus with 5 chlorine. So it's going to be phosphorus. Okay, so for 5, what I'm going to use? I'm going to use penta. Okay, what I'm having 5, it's chlorine, so it's going to be written as chloride. So it's going to be phosphorus pentachloride. Now let's see few more examples. Okay, let's start with these. So here we are having carbon with 1 oxygen. So what we can write it? We can write it as carbon monoxide. Now as you know, why we have written mono here? Because we are having only 1 oxygen. So for 1 we are supposed to use prefix mono. Similarly, if I'm going to write for next, it's going to be carbon dioxide. Why it is a carbon dioxide? Because here I am having in total 2 oxygens, so I am supposed to use di prefix. That's why I have written dioxide. Now let's go to next. So here I am having carbon with 4 chlorine, so it should be written as carbon tetrachloride. Now you know why I have written tetra here, because for 4 I am supposed to write tetra here. So for 4 atoms the prefix should be tetra. Now let's go to next. So in the next what we are having carbon with 2 sulfides. So for 2 we know we are supposed to write di, so it should be carbon disulfide. Now one question surely comes to you, what it is? It's about that which type of molecules are supposed to have these prefix. So for that we are having the condition only on those elements, or we can say only on that element can be supposed to use these prefix, which can form 2 or more combinations of compounds with other elements. What it means? It means if you can see the examples given above, all these are the molecules of carbon. Here you have used carbon monoxide because carbon comes along with 1 oxygen. While in second you have written carbon dioxide. Why I have written dioxide? Because here I am having 2 oxygen with carbon. While in the third I have written carbon tetrachloride because carbon comes with 4 chlorine. While in the next I have already written carbon disulfide. Di because here carbon comes with 2 sulfur. So these prefixes are only on valid for what? These are valid for those elements which can be formed 2 or more combination of compounds with other elements, like here we have seen the combination of carbon with oxygen as well as with chlorine and sulfur. So this is all about the naming of molecular compounds. If you have any question, feel free to send me an email. And thank you for watching. Please subscribe my channel for more tutorial. Stay tuned. Bye bye.